Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
In my sacred scripture begins with, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." And there's a lot to rejoice because of you. We are here to celebrate your work and the process of what it means to graduate clinical pastoral education. So with that, round of applause to all of you. However, I'm also reminded of that Verizon commercial. You can hear me now, and if you remember in that Verizon commercial, there was that individual with the jacket and everything, and there were a bunch of people behind that individual for Verizon to work on this network and everything. So at this time, I'd like to, anybody who was a part of this whole process, getting it started, moving it from Stillwater to Faribault, please raise your hand. That would be UAWA Westfall. Miss Morris with the paperwork, background checks, all the different things. Preceptor. Don't forget this.
It's okay.
Preceptor. Well, we're just preceptors.
You were just gonna use that.
And hero.
Our graduates, they need to introduce themselves.
I'm Paul Rowe, first unit of CPE.
I'm C, and this is also my first unit of CPE.
My name is Mike Russert. I am finishing up my 4th unit.
Richard Dobbins, this is my first unit of CPE.
Doran Shevik, also first unit CPE.
We will continue now with Dr.
So we thought today for graduation, we wanted to give you a window into the work we did, the practices we engaged, and what CPE is. And so to begin our time together is the way we began every day with a grounding practice, a breath to movement practice. As I shared with the men in this group, there's a quote that I love from a meditation teacher, a mindfulness teacher by the name of John Kabat-Zinn. And he said, as long as you're breathing, there's more right with you than wrong with you, no matter how ill or hopeless you feel. And so every week we would do some sort of breath to movement practice out of a yoga tradition or qigong. Well, we've discovered in recent weeks that we have our own expert practitioner, and so C is going to lead us in a practice, a grounding practice. For those who'd like to join in with us, you're invited to stand, and C, it's over to you.
I don't know about the expert. If you guys can, please stand and just relax. Right? Put your feet together and kind of relax. As you do this, take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, please extend your arm forward right in front of you. This is called making the bridge. As you do this, we extend our arms out to build a bridge, to build connections to any positive energy or positive thoughts out there. Once again, take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, lower your elbows, having your palm face outward, upward. This is called an asking hand. I'd like you to take a few seconds just to ask, invite, and welcome any incoming or positive energy that you may have. Take a deep breath in now. This time, as you exhale, pull that energy in you, within your chest. From here, take another deep breath in. As you exhale out, kind of lower, bend your knees a little bit as you lower your hands in front of you. With this next move, it's called the deflection And I want you to take a second just to, as we do this next move, take a deep breath in, and then as we're flaring in our hands and our feet, toes out, I want you to deflect and sweep away any unwelcoming energy. Once again, take a deep breath in. Exhale as you pull the good positive energy in and open out the heels. And for our last move, I want you to take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Feel the energy going from your body through your legs to your toes and heels as we are present in this place and in this space and time. Now, please bring back your feet and palms together and a little bow. Thank you guys for doing this with me. Amen. You can relax now.
Well, it's a poem that we really wanted y'all to kind of start things off. Our educator had introduced this to us on our first day of class, and this kind of like set the tone and the bar of what we do here at CPE. I'm gonna read it out to y'all. An invitation to brave space. Together we will create brave space, because there is no such thing as a safe space. We exist in the real world. We all carry scars and we have all cause wounds. In this space, we seek to turn down the volume of the outside world. We amplify voices that fight to be heard elsewhere. We call each other to more truth and love. We have the right to start somewhere and continue to grow. We have the responsibility to examine what we think we know. We will not be perfect. This space will not be perfect. It will not always be what we wish it to be, but it will be our brave space together, and we will work on it side by side. Thank you.
So first, just want to express deep, deep gratitude for the gift of this day and all that it represents, our very first completed unit here at Faribault. And really thank you for being here to honor and celebrate these 5 students who have successfully completed the unit. 5 months ago, it was really hard to imagine this reality that we're experiencing right now. After having offered and completed 9 units of CPE at Stillwater, and preparing for our 10th unit there, we learned that all outside programming was being halted at Stillwater amid the changes going on there. As I said, put out an SOS to Chaplain O'Neill, who brought that to Associate Warden Westfall, who just facilitated this happening with Mr. Druids and others. And here we are now. We got started about 4 weeks after that initial phone call, which is really rather remarkable. I know institutions don't move quickly, but things moved quickly here. So all I can say that it was, for us, a miracle. So just really grateful for all of you who had a hand in making that possible. I think really what drove that desire to put out that call and to see, like, we're not ready to be done with this, because we really believe in the power of this program. We think that it's a channel for building relationships, for building community, but even more importantly, it's a channel for healing and transformation, not only for our students, but all those that they encounter. And so we're just delighted to be here at Faribault, and it is our hope and desire that this is just the beginning, as we build up a program that we build up similar to Stillwater, that grew into a vibrant alumni network. We've got 2 of our alums here. I'm really grateful to see the 2 of you, and it's our hope to continue to build that sort of culture and community here at Faribault. So what is CPE and why does it matter? Just a few brief things. CPE, Clinical Pastoral Education. This program is offered across the country, primarily in hospitals, long-term care facilities, training people in spiritual care and chaplaincy. The fact that we're in a prison and that we offer this to those who are incarcerated makes our program unique. As far as we know, there's not a program like this in the whole country. And why do we offer it? Because we believe in what this program offers. It creates a structure for ongoing hands-on spiritual care work. So every CP unit, whether here or in a hospital, is going to be 400 hours of work. 300 hours is what they've been doing, hands-on spiritual care. For the men inside, you'll hear a bit about their, we call them clinical placements. For our 2 students from the outside, you'll hear about where they did their spiritual care work. And then there are 100 hours of what we call interpersonal group learning. And that's what took place the last 17 weeks or so here in Faribault, just down the hallway. And that's where we did learning through building relationships and through investing in each other's effectiveness in growth and in their spiritual care skills, effectiveness in ministry. So that could look like over the course we would have lectures, we would have readings. Students would do verbatims on a spiritual care encounter as they reflected on what went well and what didn't go well and what they could learn from that. We had a lot of written assignments. But I think probably the most important thing of any CP unit that I've been a part of in the curriculum is really the students who make up the unit. I tell students when they start that, like, you are the curriculum, right? We can have readings and assignments, and that's, you know, traditional curricular things, but it's really each individual person here. And the stories that have shaped them and influenced them, the wisdom that they've gained, the hurts they've experienced, the healing that they know, and the transformation that they are living. That's who they are, and that's what they bring in any spiritual care encounter. And that's what these 5 men have brought into this unit, sharing from places of deep pain and hurt and vulnerability, but also sharing the stories of joy, of healing and transformation, and the ways they're making a difference in the world, wherever they might land. So you guys are the curriculum, and you've done an amazing curriculum to experience and to be a part of, so thank you for that. A big part of that is the sharing instead of life stories, and we can't get into this now, but just so you like, what the heck is on the front of this cover? This is an encapsulation of some of the life stories that we shared over the unit, and if you want more information, our artist in residence, Mike, sketched this up on a whiteboard, and it encapsulates these. We know what this represents, but if you're curious, like, what is this about? Talk to one of the 5 of these guys afterwards, and you'll find out a little bit more about the stories that were shared. We also just draw your attention to the back. This piece, this artwork that was kind of jointly done by C and Paul last Friday, as we were finishing up finals here. We were here last Thursday and Friday. At 10 o'clock across the state, there was a moment of silence to honor and remember Renee Nicole Good. And so we too joined in that moment of silence here in Faribault. And Doran led us in a time of reflection through drawing. And this sketch was inspired by C, and he, well, I needed to be a better job explaining it, but you see it's a combination of heart and tears that represent not only what's going on in our communities right now, but I think it's also emblematic of this unit. Both the heart, the love that was shared, but also tears that were shed and the healing that's incurred. So through a variety of ways, through art, through writing, but most importantly through the sharing of each other's stories and wisdom, we made CPE what it was and what it continues to be. So thank you for your part of that. At this time, we want to hear from our representatives of the curriculum for our 5 students. And as they share a bit about the impact of this unit for them and give you a window into what they experienced over this unit.
Oh, we can stand up, right?
Yeah.
Fresh even more.
Once again, thank you guys for all being here to celebrate with us as we draw this CPE unit to a close. My name's C. I work as a tutor for higher ed education here, and I facilitate a mom spiritual group. And I just want to first off apologize beforehand because I'm not good at public speaking, but as my peers would say, cast a better spell. So I'm gonna try my best and kind of be quick about it. So when I first started this class, I thought it was just going to be about me learning how to help and serve others. However, as it turned out, the CPE has taught me that in order for one to care for others, one must first know how to care for yourself. And like the grounding exercise we just did, we must know how to build bridges, invite, ground ourselves, deflect, ask questions, and asking more questions. CPE has taught me that helping someone heal isn't about helping them or fixing them my way. Healing can come from honesty, truth, integrity, or through the body, mind, and spirit. And sometimes silence can be even louder. Silence can even speak louder than words. Just as I discovered love, hope, and care from my two baby sisters who barely spoke any words. Therefore, healing isn't about hiding your pains away or sweeping it under the rug. It's about revisiting, renaming, and reclaiming our past so we can reauthorize our narrative and see that we too belong. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Hello, my name. Thank you for all of you being here, and a special thank you to Warden Belts and AWA Westfall, Mr. Druids, chaplains, for advocating for this program to move here once Stillwater announced their phase closure. My name is Paul Rowe. I'm an interstate transfer from Wisconsin and honored to be part of the first unit of social justice CPE offered here at MCF-Faribault. Currently, I'm an SLS mentor. I've been an SLS mentor for the past 3 years. We work with peers who live with cognitive, physical, and emotional differences. I help support them in their day-to-day activities, or duties. I help bridge a gap in communication, possibly between the peer and staff, or peer and other peers. I encourage them to do positive self-care and learn accountability, I guess I should say also. Also, I'm a CPRS, a Certified Peer Recovery Specialist. I support those in recovery through encouragement. I help guide them towards the many pathways of recovery. And currently I'm a Restorative Justice Council member. I help facilitate Restorative Justice 101. I'm a role model for the community. I try to lead by example. And I promote accountability to all the harms we've caused through our crimes. So I was given this opportunity unaware of what social justice CPE stood for, along with not knowing the effects it would have on me as an individual. I'm grateful for the opportunity and all of who had a part in choosing me for this experience. I'm also grateful for the donors who graciously allowed us the opportunity, and would like to thank them as well. As I said before, I was unaware of what social justice CPE exactly stood for. I knew of the acronym, which gave me pause because the last two letters of the acronym was pastoral education. My immediate self-defeating thought was, how could someone convicted of a felony for CSC be invited to join a program centered around chaplaincy and spiritual care, and someone deeply missing their 8-year-old daughter? Well, through the interview process, Dr. Laura heard my story and said I would be a perfect fit. So I was hesitant at first, but I jumped in. I continued to hide my shell I wore these past 5 years or more, unwilling to crack. That is when a wise man began saying to us to cast better spells towards our past. Social justice CPE allowed me a safe space, a brave space to be more vulnerable and open up to share my narrative. Through the positive and sometimes challenging feedback, I began to realize and see all the positives I was doing in here and have done in my past. Social justice CPE awakened me and will allow me to continue my life of service going forward. In honor of Mike's 4th unit, he always brought poetry into our daily our days. So, and I often thought bringing poetry into my spiritual care could be of use. So I wrote a little poem, through laughter, through tears, creating a place to face our fears, presence, compassionate listening, and empathy. We gave one another a brave space to bring out our vulnerability. Through poetry, mindful writing, and positivity, creating a space to take accountability. From verbatims to didactics, and then came our life stories. We all came to grow by reauthoring our abilities. So social justice CPE has had a profound impact on me as an individual. It strengthened my flexibility, adaptability, and resiliency to life's everyday challenges. Social justice CPE will not only give me a reason to survive, but also the ability to thrive through some of the most challenging conditions. Thank you to all who made it possible.
You've never written poems before. My name's Doran. I'm a first-time CPE things. They're expecting me to get up here and cry because I've already set the record for most tears shed during CPE. But I got myself together and I should be just fine. That's good. So for me, CPE is two things. First thing is learning to talk to people across a wide spectrum of society and people outside their comfort zones. And for my placement work, I did the VOA Roseville Reentry Facility. This is where people coming out of prison, they kind of learn the skills to find jobs, get a driver's license, get a birth certificate, and move on with their lives. And I got some of my best verbatims from the VOA. Doran, you and your rogue religion there, just kind of, it was what was that?
Pagan.
Pagan religion, called it pagan religion, that's right, so he's a delightful person. Also got to do work at Central Lutheran Church and mostly involved with the Mondays where we invite the homeless people to come into our space. We have an abbreviated worship service, there's a free store, there's meals, there's applications for housing and just meeting their spiritual needs. It was a great opportunity. And I continue teaching my 5 classes at the Headmakai Jail. Excuse me. I teach 3 Bible studies and 2 mindful writing classes every week, and they're just a chance for to make wonderful conversations. And I said, you get to speak with people across a wide spectrum of life. Yesterday I got done teaching a class, and one of the lieutenants was there. This is kind of a big deal, because I see the deputies a lot, but you see a few sergeants here, and you never see a lieutenant. He goes, Doran, how you doing? Let's go have lunch. I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. So it was a chance to talk to him, and we talked about different things, like what's going on in my life. I'm at seminary now, I'm doing CPE, and then I asked him some questions about, well, when's this ICE stuff gonna end? And he kind of didn't know. We started talking. Kind of how it is he's more on the conservative side, but I'm more on the liberal side, and where's this going to end? And I credit CPE to be able to talk to people, and it wasn't combative, but we kind of disagreed on things, but one of the conversations said, let's get together and discuss this some more. He said some great things, I said some good things. It was a wonderful conversation. Last night I led a Bible study in the jail, and it started about 7:30, supposed to be done by 8:30, and one of this guy was talking about how demons are real, and he was telling a story. This took like 20, 25 minutes, and it was a very emotional experience for him, and this is going on like 9 o'clock, and while I'm listening to this, I'm thinking, what should I say when he gets done? And part of what CPE tells us is sometimes you don't have to say anything. Just be there, hold the space for him. And some of the other guys that commented on his story, and then when it finally was time for me to speak, I just said, what do you need right now? And he said, I just need someone to hear my story and know that I'm telling the truth. And CPA has, tears, sorry. And so CPA has taught us to just hold space for people, and where they are, that's where you meet them. All right. And so talk with people, but CPA is also an inward spiritual journey. We're uncovering pain and traumas and from years, and sometimes some of us decades of traumas gone by. So I'd like to thank these guys for helping me on this journey here. Z, your silent strength, and we had the same goals to ask better questions. I think he's exceeded me. And Mike, you let me go all Samuel L. Jackson on you. You badass mother trucker. This is a family group, so keep the language clean here. But your wisdom will always be with me. And Demetrius here, you're the king of cool. I'm gonna miss your stories, your smiles, and the joy. He walks into a room and lights it up. And Paul, you changed the trajectory of my life, and you know that, so thank you. And Laura, thank you for making all this possible. And sometimes when you're unpacking your deepest pains, that's when you have your greatest healings. I'd like to end with a story, and I'll be done here. A head rabbi was leading a retreat for his younger rabbis, and he asked them a question. When do you know when the night has ended and the day has begun? One rabbi said, well, you can look to the horizon, you'll be able to tell a wolf from a dog. The head rabbi said, that's good, but that's not the answer I was looking for. Another rabbi said, you can tell when the night is done when you can tell the difference between a date and a fig tree. The rabbi said, oh, that's good. I like that, but it's not quite the answer I'm looking for. Then the head rabbi said, you know when the night has ended, when you can see the person sitting next to you as a brother. If you don't see the person sitting next to you as a brother, then you're still living in darkness. Thank you for being my brothers.
Telling you it'd be hard following these guys sometimes. So they really do it to you. They really do. Yes, my name is Demetrius. A lot of people know me as 7 here, and this has been an interesting unit here. When I first got approached by Jeffrey Young here about it, I really didn't have a clue about what CPE was all about. He gave me a little understanding, but I didn't think it was going to be this deeply felt, and how we just grew grew together and how we attached to each other. And they had me in there crying. I mean, one thing I can say about this, bring your tissue the next time. Like the things we were sharing. But I'm a lifer here. I'm newly here at Faribault, but I've been in prison for almost 24 years now. Me and him came into county together 20-some years ago, and we kind of had a growing here. We grew up in prison. And here I do, I'm the religious rep and the chairman for the Moore Science Temple here. We do a lot of facilitating. Our director used me for the RJ Lifer Committee, where we was welcoming all of the lifers from Stillwater. And I do a lot of work, unit rep work, a lot of mentorship with a lot of guys here, young guys here. I have a lot of ties in the community. I used to be an ex-gang leader, so a lot of guys are comfortable with me, and I can go to them and we try to diffuse issues now, because now we're into the social work and trying to give back. And so I was able to use that and then the things I learned here, which is what is going to get me to the next level with my work in the community and what I feel like I need to do to give back to the community to correct my wrongs. Going through the CPE journey, I first shared with the group ever that I took ownership and responsibility for killing the guy. In my case, I essentially killed the guy, and I never admitted that to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I lied about it, I blamed it on other people, I did all of those things, and in this group, we had created a safe space, and we was here, and it just made me vulnerable, and I needed to get it off my chest. I needed to purge. I fought my son. I had a son, he was 16 years old. In 2020, he died by the Minneapolis police in a car crash. 3 teens got killed in the car. And I credit my doings of this case right here. I feel like the wrongs, the sense of me and what I did came out with my kid. This is my only son. He was my junior. And I lost him in the streets because of my sins. And so where we thought CPE was just more so about giving us the tools to effectively provide spiritual care for somebody else, but it also gave us tools to help us out and heal us. And it's really been transformative to me and really eye-opening to me. Like I say, I'm trying not to cry because, you know, it's a lot, you know, carrying that guilt for all these years and knowing that that young man didn't deserve to die senselessly the way he did just because, you know, us growing up in a traumatizing environment, we traumatize and hurt people. And so we just kind of like, first off, I'm from Chicago, so in that environment, it was just, that's what we do. And coming here and bringing that to this environment, it was unnecessarily, and just reflecting, and we was going through a lot of things, material and work pieces like empathy and sympathy that our educator introduced to the group. And that was eye-opening for me in particular because the judge at sentencing had told me about that I needed to find some empathy. And I never really understood what the judge was saying because I felt like the judge didn't know me to be telling me that you need some empathy. And I thought where I was just, you know, I wasn't rude, I wasn't disorderly, I was in a room full of a lot of people who was cheering for my downfall. And so it was like a defense that I had put up. And so, but I had to go back and going in this unit, we was able to kind of analyze what was empathy versus sympathy. And then it clicked, I got it. You know what I'm saying? It's just being able to relate to the next person. And in that, I was able to relate. And so CPE has been personally transforming to me because, and this is something I didn't really expect at all. You know what I'm saying? It's something I didn't, I mean, if you was to ask me, I probably would have done it. You know what I'm saying? If I would have knew. And in fact, I had, we started a college class. I'm a college student, I'm working my BA here. And our professor, Monday professor, he's a world religion. I had let him know that I was just completing my first unit of CPE. And he had a reaction like, whoa, what? I took my hat off to you, like, nigga. He was like, man, you just gotta do, he said, for you guys that don't know, you do so much deep reflection. He was doing all this other stuff, right? And so I'm like, wow, I guess this is a big thing. You know, I mean, you just never know what things is until you first experience it. And coming from a kid coming from the hood, like I'm 44 years old, and a kid coming from the hood who we didn't have all of these things, we didn't have all of these tools, we didn't have all of these opportunities, and to first now discovering it while I'm in prison is a shame, but to be discovering it in prison, you know, in the world, have known about these things for so much is it's still, I'm honored to be able to be given the opportunity to do that. I'm happy that she has selected me and chose me. I tell everybody she got a good eye for talent. She know how to get all the right guys in the room, right? Because I don't know if I would have been brave enough to share like that without having these particular group of guys there, because they opened up, they shared, they was vulnerable, and so I didn't want to rob the process or cheat the process by holding secrets to my chest. And so that opened me up to share. And I just want to take this experience out and try to help other young people and try to mentor them. And since I've been there and I'm in their shoes, I can relate to them a little bit more now. And so I want to take this experience and the things I learned to try to give back and try to correct my wrongs. I know I can't bring a life back, but hopefully I can save one. And with that, I want to thank all of y'all for having this opportunity, giving us this opportunity. Like you say, sometimes we might think that we don't deserve it because we're in here convicted. And to be able for people to donate and to do all of this work to get us here and to do all of this stuff for us, hopefully we can repay y'all back. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Hi all, my name is Mike Russert. I'm finishing up my 4th unit. Yeah, I mean, you've heard enough. It's just an amazing process. I want to thank Sue Allers-Hatley for, I was in the first group with Laura, and Jeff was there, and there was 3 others with us, or 4 others. But that first group in Stillwater back in 2019. And to see how the CPE became CPE family in Stillwater Prison. And I had the fortune of being a part of the first unit there and the last unit there. And now again, this fortune upon fortune to be in the first unit here at Faribault. And to think about what gets to root here, you know, that a program like this could root here. You've seen what it does in our lives. And there's a whole community in our correction system and out in our world, you know, whose lives have been transformed through this work. So to be a part of it's quite an honor. And thank you all for making it happen. Thank you to the chaplains and all that. Just it's just really amazing. So I like to communicate through poetry, and so I wrote a poem, and these are, each of these verses kind of belong one to each of the people in our crew here, and they know who they are, so, but I called it The Seeds We Planted Here. Step in through the sally port, say hi to the ducks, willows and pines and the letter K. Maybe you're an acorn, a samara, maybe lychee or acacia pod. Maybe we're cottonwood seeds, carried by wind and the straight river, rooting here. I didn't know you blossomed like you did. You're beautiful, unfolded with golden ears. A story we so longed to hear, and when you shared, we mirrored you and welcomed more. And who knew a man was capable of such integrity, even after setting out for foreign shores and being blown back by terrible storms? You show up so radically in service, you saint. I hope you come to know how loved and amazing you are, sweet child. How loved and amazing you are. The moon is almost always crescent on your face, brother. No clouds dilute your smile. Under the ancestor tree, you channel their wisdom, and many find rest with you. Keep finding rest, you blessing to generations. And I know of no wind that could knock you down. Your limbs move like water. Your gentle eyes welcome and guide a fortunate clan. Keep rooting and leading and offering and praying. Thank you for welcoming us through your gate. And you, mothering tree, pioneer species, what a home you're helping create. A home where bars can't keep miracles in or out. A whole new ecosystem of restored humanity and juicy possibilities that taste of healing and wonder. It is good, this garden. What an honor to root and grow with you from here. Thank you all.
I'm going to call upon my colleague Sue at this time. So Sue is the origin of social justice CPE, and we've been working together a number of years, and as she moves more into deeply into retirement, and the program moving here, but really glad that you're still connected and part of this, and has been with the group at different times throughout this unit. So I've asked her to join in presenting their certificates of completion for each student, and the first one is to Demetrius. And for C. Doran. And Paul. And as you, I'll let Paul get your handshakes in there. As you've heard, Mike Ressert has done, hold on. Mike has completed 4 units of CPE, and just so you know, that's just a lot of work. It's a lot of inner work, but it's a lot of service too. We've been grateful these last 2 units for Mike being at Volunteers America Youth Residential Treatment Center, where he's just made a profound difference for staff and residents alike. But for me to come to Faribault and to know that Mike was in the group just was a blessing and a gift. And I don't know where you're going to land, but you've got amazing gifts, and the 4 units of CPE, it's what professional chaplains or board certified chaplains are required to have. I just know that in some way these gifts that you have, these experiences that you have, that you will bless the world and make it a kinder, gentler place. So thank you for being a part of this first unit and the first unit in Stillwater. Who knows what's next? But blessings on the journey.
Yeah. Okay, so where do we go from here? And maybe we don't have to figure that out right now. What I want to invite us into is an invitation to enter into just space and healing space, void space, maybe womb space. And so I'm going to invite us into a closing, kind of sending breath. And what I'd like you to do is give your body some room to breathe. If you'd like, you can close your eyes. And I'm not going to be counting breaths or anything like that, but I do invite you to just begin practicing some deep breaths and stay with that breath. And to welcome in healing. And I'm going to share a little reflection as we breathe together. You can breathe in. Deep breaths and breathe out. And every inhale is new possibility. And every exhale can be death. And as we breathe, I want us to consider that we've just experienced a death. That through our honesty with ourselves and with each other, we've allowed some of these old and long protected versions of ourselves die. Breathing in and breathing out. And as it is with death, and as it is with new life, maybe we ought not rush into action. Maybe we ought not to move to the next thing too quickly. Maybe we can hang here in this in-between space. We don't want to birth into what's next prematurely. But in our breathing, in our resting, in our opening to the care, to the care of Source, of this earth, of this space, we can stay in this space and not move too quickly. Here we can open ourselves in this restful place to wonder how to best serve ourselves and our neighbor and all our relatives. How we might best give back to the Source. This love that connects all of us. Maybe we can offer ourselves through our letting go and not rushing into the next. Maybe we can offer ourselves adequate time to gestate, to allow spirit and winter dark and the soon-to-be new moon, to let it help knit us together with care. And wisdom for what's next. As we breathe, we can trust that spring will come and we'll be ready. And we can allow ourselves this time of healing in the womb. And so I'll invite you to take a few more breaths, to feel yourself cared for. To honor the stories in you that no longer serve you, to let those stories go, and to allow yourself to be knit together by love in love's time. ready for what comes next. So with that, you can draw your attention back to this space and open up your eyes, maybe move your body a little bit. And it's exciting for what will be birthed next through all of our lives here. Thank you all.